Gonna wait 1 second. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us at our Saturday broadcast here at the SSB. Today we have a special guest speaker all the way from Virginia. We have Juliana Duarte talking about the virtue of courage. Now more than ever, it seems like we need this virtue, especially in the hard times that our world is going through. So, without further ado, and not wanting to take up any additional time, want to go ahead and bring Juliana to talk. But actually, I wanted to remind our viewers one more thing. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop it in the chat. We will share them with the speaker later. And feel free to be interactive as you wish. So, Juliana, please.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. If we can put the slides online, thank you. So, as Kirsten said, I'm talking about the virtue of courage, but in the light of the Spiritism. And I have to confess that it took me some courage, and you're going to take me some courage to go through this presentation today. It is a virtue very needed to our world today, and it always has been this way. I think this is one of the messages that our best example has gave to us, Jesus Christ, that we need courage. We need courage to do good. We need courage to be indulgent. We need courage to forgive. We need courage to give the other face in certain situations. So I hope that I can bring some of these thoughts here in the light of Spiritism today. So let me see if I can go to the next slide. So Kardec in the Gospel according to Spiritism has this passage that talks about the courage of faith. And one of the highlights of this passage, it says that those who are afraid to confess that they are disciples of the truth are not worthy of being admitted in the kingdom of the truth. And we know that, well, the kingdom of the truth, it is a metaphor. I mean, this is the promise of a better future, the promise of the future that we are building today. But what is the truth? And what does Kardec or the passage means about the truth? And I wanted you to think a little bit, because it is the truth here to say that I believe in God and that's my truth. Should we be afraid to say that? We don't live in a society that if you say that I believe in God, I'm going to be persecuted. So the truth is more than that, right? The truth is also not only saying I believe in reincarnation because I'm a spiritist. There's also, you have no reason for me to be afraid to confess. The truth here, it is to do the good. Those who are afraid to confess that they are disciples of the truth, that they are disciples of the love, the good, that we talk about it, they won't be moving forward. So the courage of faith, in certain ways, says that we need to be courageous. We need to be courageous to do what is right at the moment, to fight for those that are discouraged at the moment. As Kirsten read before we start this live, the passage from Joanna de Angelis. And if you go through the books from Kardec, we see that there are a lot of passages that Kardec and the spirits of truth, say that we need courage. We need courage to face our trials, our expiations, and we need courage in our daily life. If you're not familiar with these comics, this is a comics from Como Mafalda, is from Argentina, and I didn't find the version in English, but I translate in the top of here the slide. It is this little girl waking up and saying that it's hard to join forces to face the world. So I hope that this is not our everyday life, but everybody at some point has one day, a week, a month that we feel exactly like this, because we have too much work, because we are facing troubles in life, because we had the bad news in the day before, and when we wake up, we have problems to solve, we have work to do, and this is one of my favorite comments from Afalda that express this feeling and of this courage that we need in our daily life to join the force, to wake up and do the work and face the trials. And you can put in any words that you want, but the message in this comment for me is like, yes, we need to keep going and have the faith that and the courage that we need to face life, face the world. In the book What is Spiritism, when Kardec asks what would be the challenge that he would face, the spirit truth has a quite long, or not so long answer, but at the end of his answer, he says this follows two paragraphs. He says, before anything else, to please God, or you might say to do what is right, one needs humility, modesty, and unselfishness, for he strikes the proud and the presumptuous. In order to struggle against the human element, one must have courage, perseverance, and unshakable firmness. It is beautiful to read and to listen, but it's not always that easy. And it's not only about having courage without thinking about what you're doing. It's not about be firm and be stubborn and stuck in some point. And it is not about persevere in the wrong path. You need to also learn, and you need also to be prudent. As he says in the next sentence, one must also be prudent and tactful in order to deal with things appropriately and not to compromise their success with untimely measures and words. Finally, one must be devoted, self-denying, and ready for any kind of sacrifice. You can see that your mission will depend on the conditions that you yourself set, the spirit truth. Again, it's a beautiful advice, but it's so hard to put that in practice. And the funny thing is that before I prepared this presentation this week, I had this discussion with my mother early this week where she gave me exactly this advice. She told me to be courageous and to be tactful with, and not not take measurements or say things untimely. So we need to be tactful in how we be courage to face the world. And my reaction when she said that, and she will hate me that I'm saying that here, but it is the truth. My reaction was, you haven't been timely with your actions in the past when you face injustice or when you face something unfair, because it is hard. It is hard to be courageous and indulgent at the same time. But Kardec and the spirits in the Spirits book, it says also that if we are courage, we're gonna have the advice and we're gonna have the help. And this, I have that in the next slides about these two. But my message here is, when my mother gave me this advice and I said, oh, she's a wise woman, but at the same time I said, I am not Kardec. This is a hard thing to do. Depends of what you're facing at the moment. But it's the truth. It is what we have to try to do in the best of ways, and pray for the help, and pray for somebody wiser than us to give us the advice. Then I went through the Spirits book, and even though we talked a lot about the virtue of love, the virtue of forgiveness, we talk a lot about charity, courage, it is one of the virtues that we need in order to do good. We need to be courage if you want it to be good. We won't be able to love in all the moments, or to forgive in all the moments, or be indulgent in all the moments if you don't have courage to do so. And this is implicit in several questions, in several passages, that in order to endure our trials with courage and resist them, we need the courage and we need to resist them. So in the new existence of the spirits, if the spirits endures its trials with courage and resist them, it involves and will ascend in its spirit's hierarchy when it returns to be among them. So the path that we are going through as incarnated spirits requires courage in our way. And the other questions, and these are parts of the answers. So in the other question, 487, it says, why good spirits rebuild our courage for the sake of our future, others incites us to desperation and try to jeopardize us. So again, good spirits will rebuild our courage. And one thing, reflecting about this passage and the other ones that I'm going to bring here, it is not only the spirits that are disincarnated, or not only our protectors. If we have the courage to stand up wisely and in a prudent and tactful way, the spirits that are incarnated, that want the same goals, that wanted to also do what is right, they're going to look to you, they're going to listen to you, and you're going to find them. But it demands courage to stand up. It demands courage to speak the truth. Also in the Spirits books and following questions, when Kardec asked what is the mission of our protector spirits, here's the answer. Their mission is of the parents towards the children, to guide them wards along the path of the good, to help them with the counsels, to console them with the afflictions, and to sustain their courage in the trials of earthly life. They're our courage. Their courage is our courage. So they're going to sustain and they're going to assist and give the counsels. But we need to have the act first. We need to be the active voice in our life and do the action first. Prayer helps. Prayer gonna attract. Prayer gonna assist. Attracts good spirits who gives us the strength to courageously endure your trials. Thus, then they seem less difficult to you. That's in the question 663. The a little bit farther in the Spirit's book, it also says that we usually impatiently endure the tribulations of life because sometimes they seem to so intolerable that we think we cannot bear them. Patience is also a virtue that is very emphasized throughout the Spirit's book. We need to be patient, we need to have courage, and we need to have resignation. That's throughout the Kardec's books. Nevertheless, if you do bear the tribulations of your life with courage, if you know how to silence our complaining, we will rejoice when we are released from this earthly prison. In the same way, the patients who have been suffering for a long time rejoice at being healed after having patiently endured a painful treatment. So we are learning in the process, and that should be the focus of when we go through these tribulations of life. We are healing, we are learning, we are evolving through this path, and this is a kind of healing for our spirits. In the Gospel according to the Spiritism, we have also several passages that emphasize the need of courage. Courage, my friends. Christ is your model. He suffered more than any of you and had nothing for which to reproach himself. Whereas you have your past to expiate and to strengthen you for the future, so be patient, be Christian. This word sums up everything. Christ is our model, and he suffered more than any of us. We all face difficulties, and it is different sufferings, different measurements that we cannot compare. But here is the message: have courage, uphold the strong, encourage them to persevere, strengthen the weak by showing them the goodness of God, which is also related to the message that Kirsten read from Juliana Duarte in the book A Happy Life. Strengthen the weak by showing them the goodness of God. Because more courage is needed to overcome oneself than overcome other people. That's another passage of the Gospel according to the Spiritism that emphasizes the need of this virtue, also to overcome ourselves and our overcomes our mistakes, our faults, overcomes all the things that we need to improve in ourselves. And we also need courage for that. Courage, because there are good hearts watching over you. You will not be forsaken. So be patient. So again, the virtue of patience together with courage. And I wanted to go back a little to the first slide when I was talking about the spirit of truth. And even before, I'm sorry, okay, here, the courage of faith. when Kardec emphasized that those who are afraid to confess that they are disciples of the truth are not worth of being admitted in the kingdom of truth. So again, what is the truth here? And I'm repeating myself in this question because I don't think it is a simple answer. And I think the truth has so different meanings in different situations. Sometimes the truth, it is to admit our problems. If you are in a workspace, and I'm going to use this as an example because it's the example like my life. If you are in a workspace that everybody says that we are great, that everybody says that we don't have problems, this is the best place to work, you see that this is not, we know that is not exactly true because we all are imperfect. And what is the truth here? We also don't want to accuse anybody. We don't want to focus on our mistakes or on our faults. But we wanted to say the truth. We wanted to say we are a place that is growing, that is evolving, that is learning. You wanted to say that we care. We wanted to say that the equity in our workspace matter. You wanted to say that listen to people matter. You wanted to say that we wanted to learn and we wanted to make this place better because we are in planet Earth. No place here is perfect. As far as I know, there is no heaven on Earth. And the truth, a lot of times, it is about to admitting that our society needs to improve, and saying that requires courage. Saying that in a political environment, in a university environment, in a family environment, a lot of times requires courage, and it is the truth. We, and I include myself, I have a lot of place that I need to grow and to learn. And so the truth here, it is related to admitting and to saying that we wanted to do good, and we are walking, and we wanted to walk with the advice of our brothers and sisters. So, and it requires courage. I will move forward to the slides. And I put a slides here that I know if Chris is there at SSB, he will like this citation. Because courage is also one of the virtues that we admire most, because it is the virtue of heroes, right? It is a virtue that everybody admires throughout histories and throughout history and across societies. Everybody admires courage because it is the virtue of heroes. And I put this citation here that exemplifies, I think, it is from the movie Captain America, so it's from Marvel, that exemplifies moments that we need courage in our life. And that was an actual advice that was given that Sharon was saying at the moment. Anyway, the advice is compromise where we can. Where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something is wrong, something is right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty. Is your duty to plant yourself like a tree, look them in the eye, and say, no, you move. And I know a lot of us have watched a Marvel movie, some of us has not, but this is an advice to say, when you know that what you're doing is right, when you know that what you're standing for, it is right, you might need to plant yourself as a tree and say to everybody else, you move, because and that requires the courage. That requires the courage that we had so many examples throughout history that had in certain moments. It requires courage to change the world. We need courage in our daily life, but we have so many examples in history that courage made a difference. When people had courage to fight against slavery, against apartheid, for women's rights. And I like this citation from Nelson Mandela, because when we stand up and we have this faith, the courage of faith, it opens the door for a lot of things that are going to come after us. So this citation, you can read here, it says, as you let your own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. A lot of times you have no idea, especially if you are in a moment of difficulty, that there are people looking at you. There are people that are going to look up to you and see you as your example. And I can tell that I had my parents as my examples, and they did not realize how much their courage inspired me and taught me so much in my life. So we have friends, we have family, we have people that might be looking at you that you even don't know, that your moment of courage will change or will inspire them to do the same when the moment comes. This presentation is quite short, but I wanted to also cite our dear Chico Xavier, that has this also great advice when it says that for the good days, gratitude. We always have to be grateful. That's one of the, I think some studies have been showing that gratitude, it is one of the main causes to be a resilient person. When you go through difficulties, if you are able to be grateful, that helps you. And there are studies that shows that it helps you to be resilient and to learn from that moment of grateful, of difficulties. For the hard days, faith. And faith requires courage of faith, believe in the future, believe that everything shall pass, as also Chico Xavier said. Everything shall pass, and this is whatever is the moment that we are going through, this will always also shall pass. For the days of longing time, when we are far from our families or friends, when we are missing something in our life or someone, time, the patience of the virtue of patience Time will bring us together. Time gives us answer. The virtue of be patient. We cannot have everything at a time that sometimes we want. And for everyday courage, because to be grateful, to have faith, to be patient, to do good, we need courage. For every day, I wish, he wishes, and I wish us courage. Courage to face the world, as Mafalda show in the comics. One of the things that I do is to listen to music as a form of prayer. And I put this lyric here, and I have the English version in the right. Is the lyric that's Padre, the priest Fábio de Mello in Brazil sings. And it is a very beautiful lyric that talks about courage and talks about God's love and the courage that we need. So this is my translation. I hope I did a good job, and that's just a part of the music. But it says that you, God, has the gift of seeing roads where I see the end. You, God, convince me when you speak. That is not like that. It is not like what we are seeing in the moment or what we interpret in the moment. It's much more than this moment. If I forget, remember me. If I don't know, please teach me. And if I lose direction, come and find me. So it's a prayer in the form of a lyric. That also shows the gratitudes, because it says, when my eyes couldn't see, your hands hold me to walk. When I had no more love in my chest, your love helping me to love. When my dreams I saw fall apart, when what you were planning in your life did not work exactly in the way that we wanted, you brought me others to start over. There is also another music that I really like that says that I need to understand. I need to understand more of God, because God takes care of my life. You takes care of my life. And when a door, I don't remember exactly the words because I'm translating now, but it says, when one door has closed in my life, you open so many others. And a lot of times it's a matter of us keeping our eyes and our heart and our mind open to see the doors and to listen to the advice that we have. You brought me others to start over. When I forgot that I was someone in life, your love came to remind me. When I forgot that I was someone in life, when everybody else, all of this circumstance said the opposite, your love came to remind me. And then we have this last part of the music that he sings, that God loves me and I'm not alone, that God takes care of me when you will speak through your voice and tell me courage. And we have several ways to interpret this passage. When I listen, when you speak through your voice and tell me courage, I remember all of the moments, mostly my family, mostly my parents, my sister, but other people also, that said something that gave me courage. Was a mentor that I had in my academic life, was a friend when I was sharing something or in a moment, or even sometimes a random person, a random student that gave me a note a couple of times. And all of this, a message, a advice that we receive when you speak through your voice, is through the voice of God or through the voice of the universe or however you wanted to interpret it, but tells us courage, tells us to not give up. And this, it is for me what it's in the Spirit's book. When Kardec says, the Gospel according to Spiritism, when Kardec says, have courage and pray because you have the assistance to move forward, and you won't be able to face your trials, or you won't without courage. Courage is a requirement, as well as patience, as well as resignation, as well as love. So, Kirsten, that's my last slide.
Hey, surprise!
Not Kirsten.
Kirsten got a little older and with so much less hair. As we're having this event both in person and online, and we're having the little kids here, so we need just to change some roles. So thank you, Juliana. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for listening. We are going to move now to our comments or questions and answers. So I was told that we're going to see on the screen. And yes, Daniel Santos says he has a question. How can we differentiate courage from faith? Are they the same in your opinions?
They're not the same. And this is a very philosophical question, Daniel. Thank you for putting me in the spot. So they're not the same. And Kardec says courage or faith, right? We need courage in order to have faith and to say the truth. But courage, it is in several other situations. We can have courage without faith, I would say. But in order to have faith, I think courage is a requirement. That's would be my answer to your great question.
Mm-hmm. If I may make a comment, it seems when you say that sometimes we have courage, but we don't have faith, courage is more the certainty that we are going to go through the situation, and we keep quiet, we keep silent, we go through the situation, we wait, and we will be successful. It's with the resignation and being patient. Faith is knowing about something greater than us, isn't it? That out there is a God, is the mentors, is the love of the universe holding us. But we have examples in even history of so many people that they were very courageous, but didn't have that faith. I don't know if I'm aligning with your thoughts. Okay.
It is. It is. I said this is a very philosophical question. You can have courage in so many situations that are not related to faith, right? Mm-hmm. But I do think in order for us to have the faith that Jesus came and showed us, it requires courage. We see so many examples in his life of courage.
Thank you, Juliana. So let's see what's the next comment question. So Kirsten, you know, she can multitask. She can take care of the kids and ask questions. So she says, how can we help someone else who is suffering
and lacks courage to face their hardship. When we are weak, when we feel we are in our very last moment, that the rope, we can hold it anymore.
How can I help someone? Yes. Um, Depends, right? Depends of the situation. We, I think if we put ourselves in pray, like if you pray, that's a way to help. And we can help indirectly, and we can help by receiving advice and finding the answer for your question at the moment. Maybe sometimes we get inspired and we say, I think that someone needs to listen. So sometimes you can help in other ways that it's not on your words. Sometimes you can help by encouraging and pondering sometimes the person um to go through that moment or to
Hmm.
yes.
Thank you, Juliana. And especially all of us, we have been in that position sometimes, isn't it? We just simply lack courage, like we feel um, trapped or in desperation. And it is because emotionally, psychologically speaking, it's like we have our head with a back or with a jar, whatever. We don't have the vision. Like the song that you share with us at the end, that sometimes we don't see. So we need God through someone to take that, to lift that back. The black, yeah, the only saying here, the black folder. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Danny. Abby, hello, Abby. Nice to see you through the web. Abby says, very good to talk. Thank you for sharing your courage. Yes. My question is, if you are stuck and you need that courage to help push you through a situation, what helps you? What helps you to move through it? And it's basically like the same, it's very similar to Kirsten's question. Kirsten was asking, how can we assist someone? And Abby saying here, what if it's me? How can I move forward?
What is me? She's saying, if you are stuck and you need that courage, what
Mm-hmm.
helped me to push through the situation?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what helped you to move through it? Oh, so how to start? Faith, faith helps to move. If I think that I am correct, right, if I don't have anybody else tell me a better path, if I think that this is what I have to do, I think it is the faith that helps me to move through it, because everything shall pass, this will also shall pass, right? So it is, of course we have to move and we have to take actions, have to find our um, find what are the tools that we have to get out of that situation that will put you in a stuck point position.
Mm-hmm.
But the you said here you need that courage to help you push through a situation. So the faith helps me to have the courage, and then finding my mentors through my incarnated mentors and
Mm-hmm.
my disincarnated mentors, and try to listen to them the best way as possible.
Mm-hmm. So I will summarize your answer, Juliana, like reaching out, reaching out for help and for assistance through the good mentors and to people around us, even if it's a professional, whatever type of need we have at the moment. And something very interesting happened when you're saying that this situation shall pass. I want to share with everybody here. I was thinking the same, and you say it. So there is a connection here. So that
Yeah.
very thought, that very concept, and forgive me to take the microphone, helping me to move forward in different situations, like when you feel like asphyxiated, and then you think this shall pass.
Yes.
This shall pass. It's just immediately you came to a center. You come to a center, and also you mentioned that courage, patience, and resignation, they go together like a three sisters. So the resignation is the acceptance of the test or the challenge. And we need to be patient, just to wait for time and to be active. Is
A
the three?
timely moment, as was advised to Kardec. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes. So
And then,
it's active. Sorry, Juliana.
no, I was completing your sentence. And then the
Okay.
courage
Yes.
to
Encourage.
act. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see if we have another comment or question. Hey, Rosaura, how is the weather in Georgia? So she says, Juliana, thank you for this great message. And Vladimir from Pennsylvania, he say, thank you for a nice talk today. Thank you, Vlad. And then I don't know if we have someone in the audience in person for a very quick comment or question before we conclude our presentation today. No?
I don't have the courage to talk. I don't have the courage
I
to
don't,
speak.
Juliana, can you see the audience? I don't
I
know.
cannot see you, but I listened.
Okay, so it is Emma saying that she does not have the courage to ask. Okay, we will gather courage here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to we are very grateful with you, Juliana. I was given a
Oh,
direction, but I want to tweak a little bit before we conclude the Zoom meeting, the virtual meeting, before we go to the passes. So what I would like to ask you, Juliana, if you don't mind, I don't know if it was you or Daniel, if you can put the last two slides, and Juliana, if you can read it again, the song from the Prince.
yes.
So just to like a final prayer, just to put it on. I was thinking that you have the music there, but if not, that's okay. So let us. Oh, hold on.
I can read that. Yeah, this music is a beautiful prayer.
Oh, Daniel is going to put some background music, and
Okay.
this will be our final prayer for our online meeting. We are going to conclude that way. And after that prayer and after we disconnect, we are going to do passes here in person. Okay. Thank you, Juliana.
Thank you.
So let us wait for the music. It's coming.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You have the gift of seeing roads where I see the end. Convince me when you speak. It is not like that. If I forget, remember me. If I don't know, teach me. If I lose direction, come find me. When my eyes couldn't see, your hands hold me to walk. When I had no more love in my chest, your love helped me to love. When my dreams I saw fall apart, you brought me others to start over. When I forgot that I was someone in life, your love came to remind me that God loves me, that I am not alone, that God takes care of me when you speak through your voice and tell me courage.
Namaste. Thank you, Juliana.